Hello everybody, it's Dave here from Team BC. Last installment of the 2019 Canada Winter Games Red Deer podcast series. Some of you this might be the first one you see, but for some of you, you've already seen a bunch, so just a little bit of review for you. And just a couple of thoughts in our last month of preparation. So if you're a week one sport, you got just a little bit less than a month left. If you're a week two sport, then you got just a little bit more than a month left here. So still lots can be done, and we just want to follow some simple little rules. So the first rule is to extend ourselves into the future and go beyond the games and think about what it is that you'd like to feel like after the games are over. And really there's three things I would hope for you. One is that you had a great experience at the games, that you just had a ton of fun while you were there, you were super happy with your performance levels, you raced consistently, and you got to meet some incredible people and watch some other great sporting events. The games is a really fun place. This is my seventh one, and I tell you, it's kind of crazy. Like there's so much going on, and there's so many great opportunities. And so hopefully your field of play, your competitive opportunities will be excellent, and you'll get to watch some other really amazing sporting events happen. The second thing is really it's this notion of like taking the opportunity to have gotten to know yourself a little bit better. So after the games are over, you think to yourself in terms of those four pillars of, the physical, the technical, the strategic, all the strategy in sport, and the mental component of sport performance. You just got to know your high performance self just a little bit better, and that you were able to do something physically, and you did get those technical skills, and that you did really create some great racing plans or competitive plans for the day, and you let the week unfold one day at a time and those sorts of things, and you were able to stay mentally tough. You managed, a few of those models that I talk about all the time, and you did, manage some mistakes well, and all of those sorts of things. So that's the second little piece of it. Is you just got to know yourself as an athlete a little bit better. And of course, the third thing is really this notion of that, in particular with the work with me, that you managed your emotions really well, and that you managed yourself mentally really well. Used some of the great tools that are available to you with great success, and that it just feels like we're coming home from the games and we're just really excited about what's still to come. For some of you, this is going to be one of the biggest sporting events in your lifetime, and for others, this is just the launching pad for what is a great, great opportunities that lie ahead. For all of us, we can be lifelong athletes. And, I'm over 60 now and still really physically involved in all sorts of different sports, and just loving all those opportunities and what I'm able to do with my body and what I'm able to do with my mind to get my old aging body to do all that work. So it's just some great opportunities there at the games. So just in terms of a few little tips leading up to the games, number one is when we've got a plan, let's continue to follow the plan. So your coach probably has a bit of a plan for you, and it would be really good if we just continue to follow that plan. A tendency, certainly something that I got sucked into myself a few times as an athlete, is this notion of I'll just do a little bit more leading up to the games to make up for maybe some of the things that I could have been doing or should have been doing in the last few months. So cramming just before the games is not highly recommended, right? Like I say, when there's a plan, let's just continue to follow the plan. Let's get the quality in on the quantity of the work that the coach suggests. So we want to continue to get great sleeps. We want to continue to manage our hydration. We want to manage our nutrition well. And those things are going to give us the greatest opportunities for the best effort we can be putting into the training, or for some of you still have competitive opportunity left. So we want to maximize on those training sessions. We want to maximize on those competitive settings in order to get the most out of those. So again, we just feel like we're well prepared and we've been doing the work, and this last month has been great. So nutrition, hydration, lots of sleep, continue to do the visualization and the working on the mental skills as well. It's good to have a bit of a plan, so just planning out each day, just take it one day at a time. There's 30 to 35 days left before the games for most of you. Some of you are going to get to the games and not compete right away. There might be a few days of training leading up to those things. So we just want to make sure we have a plan for every day. I like to wake up every morning and just spend a little bit of time in quiet reflection, and then just watch my day unfold. So I think about myself as who I want to be in order to get the best out of myself during this day. When you get to the end of the day, reflect back a little bit and just say, did I make the best of the day? If you didn't, don't beat yourself up. Just ask yourself to do better tomorrow, and we'll just keep on it. So it's one day at a time. That's what we're trying to do. So have a bit of a plan for each and every day. It's good to try to unload as much stuff off of your plate so that when you're at the games that you're not having to study really hard or prepare for exams or doing those sorts of things. So if we can load things before the games so that we can take it easy during the games and have more time just to relax and to socialize and watch some other sporting events, that would be good. So while we're training for this last month, if we can also be getting all of the other things. In particular, what comes to mind is schoolwork, projects and exams, anything we can do ahead of time rather than have them left for the days that we get back, that would be advantageous. Lots of athletes assume they're going to have lots of time to study while they're at the games, and I can tell you some of those athletes were incorrect, that they got swept up by the games, and when they weren't studying, it did create some doubt and worry. So ahead of time is always better. Okay, so those are just a couple little things. The 3 models that I'm always working on with you are the notion of still trying to maintain always the big 8. So we stay calm and we stay relaxed and we stay grounded and we stay centered and we stay very positive because that's how the mind works best, and patient, and we put in the effort and the focus. Those are, of course, all these models are in the workbook. If you don't have a workbook, you can just Google Dave Fries or Google Ripple Rock Consulting, get my email address off there, or text me and ask me to send you one, and I'll send you one. So the second model, the one that usually athletes tell me is the most useful to them, is the bubble. So this little girl inside her bubble deciding who she wants to be, and then looking at all of the things that are outside of the bubble that are trying to get in there and ruin the party. So that there's actually a workbook there's a module in the workbook that takes you through that process of building your own bubble. And then the third one is just making sure that we connect to that girl A, that girl who likes it when it feels a little bit risky and knows that she needs to make herself uncomfortable, and she loves a challenge, and she does struggle a little bit, and that's really healthy, and all of those sorts of things. That girl B, that girl that likes it to be safe and likes it to be comfortable and wants it to be easy, she's a good girl to leave at home and just bring your athlete A with you. So, took me a while to figure out my athlete A as a young athlete. That boy B kept sneaking in there and kind of like ruining the fun. And, I discovered later in life that when I am challenged the most, that's what actually brings out the best in me. So to be without doubt and to be without fear and to be able to step up and be a little bit braver, those are all the qualities of that athlete A. And we just want you to step up a little bit and just feel that when you're at the games, so that you get to know that little high-performance self of that high-performance self a little bit better. All of the things we do, of course, fit into the speedometer, where we can be not enough and we can be way too much. And, typically when we're at games and trying really hard and thinking way too much, we go a little bit further on the speedometer than we need to. So we start at 0, we get all the way up to 5. We're in this great place where high performance really happens. But then we start doubting, we start worrying, we get a little nervous, we start trying too hard, we start thinking too much. And it takes us past that optimal place. So during the games, we want to stay positive. We want to stay patient. You really need to trust yourself. You really need to believe in yourself, and you just need to know that when we do it right, it feels fun. And when you're having fun, I ask athletes that all the time. Like, do you perform your best when you're having fun? And almost everybody says yes. When it's fun, I'm just loving it. And so we got to find that little place, and that fun is in that nice balanced place. It's a little bit like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. The porridge was too cold, porridge was too hot, porridge was just right. So we need to be just right in the effort and just right in the focus and just try to manage those things well. Okay, couple of things always to remind yourself of. One of my favorite expressions by my football coach, grade 11 and 12, Coach Henderson. He just always says, I don't care what you've done, good or bad, all I care about is what you do next. Make a plan, move on. So that's that notion of managing the mistakes well, just letting them go, getting back to work. We're going to make some mistakes in Red Deer. No questions about it. Everybody does. And the question is, who manages them best? And we just need to outmanage our competitors in terms of mistake management. That's what we need to do. So we're really good at letting go and just getting back to work. Let's keep it really simple. Okay. In the workbook, there's that little model called the task at hand. It's just like, let it go, get ready for what's next. Let it go, get ready for what's next. Keep that up. And then probably my favorite expression of all time is your skills don't abandon you. What happens is you abandon your skills. So they're always there. Just remind yourself of that. You've built incredibly good habits. You've got a strong mind. You can trust and believe in yourself. And we got a month ahead of ourselves still to keep pushing away at it. And just take it one day at a time. Do your best work. Move on to the next one. If you don't do a great job of it, don't beat yourself up. Ask yourself to do better tomorrow. And we'll just keep at it one day at a time. We'll keep it super simple. My services are available to you. I'll still see some of you before the games, but certainly I'll be at the games and happy to help at any time. So I'll be around in the evenings to do little one-on-one sessions with whoever wants. And during the day, I try to get out to your training and your competitive settings and just be around. If you need a little bit of help, I'm always happy to help. The mind is an extremely powerful thing, and it can work for you and it can work against you. We all know that. And so what we want the mind doing for us in Red Deer is really working for us. And that's why I'm there, just to help make sure that we're on track and that things are good. So have a great month leading up to the games here, and I'll look forward to seeing you in Red Deer. Take care.